So I want to introduce you to my amazing panelists, just some of the most amazing people on the planet. Jada Rogers. I think I met Jada when she was 14.
Yep.
Well, you said you were 12 earlier, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was probably 8. I was 8 then.
Oh man, this young lady, every time I look at her, and I have tissue up here if I have to do the ugly cry, because you all know that I will. Jada is one of the 24 students linked into the 115th class of Spinks Senior Honorary at The Ohio State University. Do you all hear me? This is one of the most prestigious honors that can be awarded to a student at The Ohio State University. Since 1907, Spinks has recognized those students who have shown outstanding leadership, scholarship, and service for the advancement of The Ohio State University. As a result of Jada's community service and leadership and academic excellence, she has also been honored as one out of 150 students across the country from 150,000 applicants to receive the 2018 Coca-Cola Scholarship. Rogers has received a host of scholarships, including the YWCA Mamie Earl Sells Scholarship, OSU Women's Critical Difference Scholarship, Home Depot Orange Scholarship, and the Cincinnati Police Centennial and Fire Association scholarships. We're so honored to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Tia Rochelle, another special, just a special sister. Just a special sister. Tia is the founder and CEO of Johnny Spot Concierge and is a highly motivated, organized, and detail-oriented professional with more than 10 years of corporate business expertise. Her life's mission is to encourage, empower, and inspire others, regardless of where they come from, to reach for the stars, live their best life, and operate at their highest God-given potential. Tia hails from the Bond Hill area of Cincinnati. She is a world traveler, having worked and lived for weeks at a time in Paris, France, Dubai, UAE, Florence, Italy, and Canada. She enjoys cooking, dancing. Woohoo! I love to dance too. Even though I'm not that great at it, I love to dance because it brings me joy. Also, bling brings me joy. Do y'all see all this bling? I love bling. It makes me smile. Global travel, reading, journaling, corporate worship, and planning lavish, meaningful event experiences. Welcome, Tia. We're so honored that you are here with us. Now, this next young man is just going to blow your mind. Timothy Hinton is a third-year senior from Sandusky, Ohio. Cedar Point, listen, I spent so much time in Sandusky, Ohio growing up because Cedar Point was one of my favorite places. And he is studying psychology at The Ohio State University. He is currently utilizing his education in various roles that he has been playing throughout 2021. He was selected as a William Pickard Scholar, MLK Junior Scholar, and Corporate Connection Scholar in the academic year of 2020-2021. He is also a certified meditation and mindfulness instructor, teaching breathing techniques, mindful interventions, and emotional regulation strategies through his various trainings. He focuses on empowering younger generations to inspire, motivate, and lead lives of love, joy, and serenity. Timothy will receive his Bachelor of Arts in Psychology from Ohio State in May 2021. After graduating from Ohio State, he plans to attend graduate school for performance psychology in hopes of creating mental performance trainings for underserved communities to take strides in creating a more just, equitable, and joy-filled world. You are amazing. Amazing young man. I'm so honored to know you. And then, last but not least, another amazing, amazing sister. Just a wonderful and beautiful soul. Melanie Ridgeway is a native of Cincinnati, Ohio. She graduated from Hughes High School. You know, in Cincinnati, you have to say, now, what high school did you go to?
Yep.
And that's everything right there in Cincinnati. Big Red, and went on to get her BS degree in social work at Central State University. She has worked in her career field for over 35 years. She is the Prevention Education Coordinator at the YWCA Greater Cincinnati. She currently travels to 3 Cincinnati public schools, teaching a course on safe dates, talking about the red flags and the green flags of teen relationships and teens against bullying, where 4 types of bullying are explored: physical, cyber, verbal, and emotional. She also runs a Coaching Boys into Men program where she works with athletes on respecting themselves as well as women and girls. She also conducts workshops on trauma-informed care and ACEs, which are adverse childhood experiences. Welcome. Woo. As you all can see, one day after COVID is over, we'll all be able to come together. But we're socially distant and staying, following all the guidelines here. But it is such an honor to have you all here today. Each of you are so very special to me. And so I'm going to start by asking the first question. The Sister Accord has many boys and men who are part of our work and movement. This is so important. It's necessary. If we're going to eradicate gender-based violence, 98% about 98%, some people say even higher, percent of violence, domestic violence incidences are typically instigated by men. Now, there's some women who like to fight too, so we're not going to just ignore that. But we know that the majority comes from men. And so if we're going to eradicate bullying and violence against girls and women, we have to start there. We have to have this conversation. We have to bring people in to this conversation. Timothy, why do you think it's important for us to bring men into this conversation and have men be a part of the Sister Accord?
100%. Thank you for having me, first off.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it, and it is so vital. It is so vital. And just to start out with a couple facts and figures, 1 in 3 women face sexual, physical, and gender-based violence. 20,000 phone calls on a typical day for domestic violence hotlines. And every 2 minutes, there's another sexual assault. And as men, we have to do the heart work, as you like to mention. And we have to look within and ask ourselves, how can we be better?
Yes.
How can we stand up for our women? How can we support our women, create the resources? And this is a topic that is really dear and near to my heart because a couple of my friends have had encounters like this. And just to see them struggling in the way that they were. And 40%, less than 40% of women who face these types of experiences and are survivors of these experiences will actually seek support and resources. So we have to create the safe spaces.
Yes.
We have to provide the resources. We have to empower our women, uplift our women.
That's right.
And as men, we have to do that hard work.
That's right.
And I like to end with a quote, a person is a person through other people. I can't be all that I can be unless you are all that you can be. I can never be threatened by you because you're good. Because the better you are, the better I am. So let us uplift, let us love, let us bring joy and create that just and equitable world that I was talking about.
Wow. Can I just like roll on the floor, like lay out and do some snow angels? I mean, can you say that again, please?
A person is a person through other people. I can't be all that I can be unless you are all that you can be. I can never be threatened by you because you're good. Because the better you are, the better I am.
Oh my God. Let's just break that down for a minute. How powerful is it if every boy, man, girl, woman proclaimed and lived that way? What would happen in our world?
It will make strides. We will make change. We will make impact. It'll create that joy-filled, that love-filled world that we all want. We all want happiness.
Yes.
Happiness is the most craved thing globally. And with this quote, we can really make strides at creating that.
That's right.
And it's a term called Ubuntu. Ubuntu.
Yes.
It's a lifestyle.
Yep. That's
and
right.
Nelson Mandela
That's right.
brought that about.
That's right.
So
right.
let us make those strides.
That's right. And we will then give our children's children a different world.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want, this is 2021, 2041, 2051, for our children to be talking about the same things.
Yeah.
Because we didn't step up and do what we were supposed to do. That's unacceptable. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. And that is why we are doing the heart work. Today is about doing the heart work, having the conversations that we need to have so that we all move to that next level of excellence. That's what this is about. Wow, very powerful. I told y'all.
Dynamic.
Just get ready. Tia, as a teen mom, you have lots of stories and experiences that I know will inspire our audience today. What are some of the lessons that you have learned along the way regarding red and green flags?
Hey, sis.
Hey, beautiful.
Thank you
I
for
love you.
having me. I love you dearly. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I gotta say, you are amazing.
Yes.
I've been just here with you during today, and your spirit is amazing.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Really. This whole topic is so powerful and is so appropriate right now. I was a teen mother, and growing up in the time that I grew up and learning about relationships, not only romantic relationships, but friendships, I think I'm still learning even now
Yes.
in my adulthood.
That's right.
And I think some of the most important learnings that I have come across are, number one, it is so important to have a village around
Oh,
you.
yes.
Your village is everything.
Yes.
And your village will hold you, will sustain you, will ground you, will encourage you, will challenge you. They will say, no ma'am, you don't know SJM. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sonia is nice. SJM. Oh,
Not so
you don't
much.
Want,
You-
you don't want that heat. And
You
that
don't
smoke
want
from
you don't want no
SJM.
smoke from SJM. So I'm gonna need you to get it all the way together, okay? So your village is so important, but not just in adulthood, but as a young person.
Yes.
And this whole topic, this whole subject, it's about breaking those cycles.
That's right, sister.
And I'm still living some of those red flags that I did not know were red flags. I'm still living the effects of them now as I approach 40.
Wow.
And trying to undo them.
Wow.
For my children, for my daughter who is going to be a senior in high school, teaching her how to get ready to be this beautiful queen sitting on my right side.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So it is so important. Another thing that I learned is communication is so important. And I think when I say communication, and I want to really say this the right way, communication is key. And you say you hear that, but you don't really understand it. Mm-hmm. When I say communication is key, I mean you have to teach people how to treat you. Mm. And I mean that thing.
That's it.
And I'm talking about when you're 14.
That's right.
When you're 13, when you're 15. Where's the audience? When you're 16. When you got your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you teach them how to treat you early.
That's right.
Because if you don't, they're going to treat you like that all the way through your relationship with them. Mm. You teach your friends how to treat you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. You have to.
Those boundaries.
Those boundaries are so important.
Yep.
Because if you don't establish them early, they will never be established. You can't do it.
Nope.
And again, I'm learning these things later in life that I did not know early.
Yes.
And the longer you go without establishing them, the harder it is to establish them.
That's right, sister. Ooh,
you know?
You said a word. I hope you all are hashtagging.
Seriously.
Out there, flag on the play, the
Seriously.
sister accord.
It is so important.
Yes.
And then the behavior is so hard to unlearn that behavior.
That's right, sister.
Another thing that I really, really, really want to make clear, because this is something that I struggled with, and I know for me, I know I could not have been the only teenager to struggle with this. I thought that possessiveness was love. I thought that when a boy told me, "You mine," and nobody else gonna have you, and that sign of possession, I thought that was love.
Wow.
And it's not. It is toxic.
Wow.
It is everything anti-love.
Wow.
And what you said just now, that almost made me cry.
I know. I have tissue over here.
Seriously.
Because it really is.
When you and I can you say that again? When you said if you do everything you're doing, it can't make me be jealous of you, or it brings out the best in me. Mm-hmm. That envy. So how can I be possessive or controlling over you and try to want to limit you or stop you or hinder you?
Yes.
I thought that was love as a young girl.
Wow.
And I didn't know.
Wow.
And I just want to encourage young women, and I remember even having that conversation with my daughter. That is not love. Mm-hmm. If a young man is saying to you this, that's a flag. Let's throw that flag on the play now. Flag on the play. This ain't that. And that's what me and my Aunt Nene say. This ain't that.
Right. This ain't that.
This ain't that. Let him know this ain't that.
I love that. Oh, Tia, those are so powerful.
No.
Man, those are so powerful, sister.
And the last thing that I will say is I learned what love is. And, I really have to teach my children. I have 2 girls and 2 boys. And, I have to teach my boys as well. And I love listening to that panel that you guys had with the college students. I'm so encouraged about the generation that's coming up.
Too.
I'm so excited. I was over there doing the ugly cry. My aunt, Melanie, she was laughing at me because I was just like, I was doing the ugly cry because the young people, they were so encouraging to hear how they were talking about each other and relationships. I was just like, wow, we didn't think like that when we were younger. No. We weren't educated. When the young man was saying it's okay for him to be emotional and for him to grieve. And I was just like, wow.
Yes.
I would have never heard another man say that and say he needs support.
Yeah.
That was just beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
And so I'm teaching my boys that.
That's good.
You know, and I have my boys in a program called Forever Kings, and they're teaching them that. And my girls were in Ladies of Leadership.
Yeah.
You know, and they're teaching them that. And
Yeah.
I just love that. But one of the things that I want to leave you guys with is I'm learning what love is.
Girl, don't make
And-
me lay out on this floor.
And I have, and I'm telling you, and I have this, and I don't want to mess it up, so I did bring up my little note card, but this is so important. And I know, you know, your elders might say, you know, go read 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. No, read it. Put that on your heart.
Yes.
Because every word of that is true.
Yes.
Because every single word of this is true. Love is patient.
Yes.
Love is kind. It does not envy.
No.
It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. It does not delight in evil. It rejoices with the truth.
Yes.
It always protects. It always trusts. It always hopes. It always perseveres. And love never fails.
That's right.
And that is what I'm learning as I transition into this next milestone next year
Wow.
into my 40s.
Wow.
I'm learning how to love myself, how to love others, and I'm learning to turn those red flags into green flags.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I told y'all this is going to be amazing. All right. Jada, what has been your experience with recognizing red flags in friendships? What is important to you as you determine who you allow in your inner circle?
Yes. So everyone's statement so far and testimonies have been so encouraging. I can just think back, high school, Girls to Women, before Girls to Women even launched, 8th grade. I always thought I was different. I never really fit in with people. When I did try to fit in, it was always a teacher or a principal saying, "That's not you." And I was like, how do you know this isn't me? This is who I want to be. You know, I want to fit in with the social group. So through experience and through high school, I recognized I had trouble sustaining long relationships, and I didn't know what the cause was. I was like, well, each year it seemed like I had a different friend group, and when I was talking about proximity, oh, we're friends because we're in the same AP class, or we're friends because we live in Madisonville, the same neighborhood, or we're friends just because our families know each other, or we went to the same church congregation. And I had to really recognize that I was placing so much into the person's physical being, but what I really value in relationships is a person's values, the substance they bring to conversations. Are you a loyal person? Are you there in time of need? And I've had to recognize that sometimes that proximity method, that proximity thing was just based solely on convenience, whether that's a personal relationship, a romantic relationship. I've found myself, even now in college, I'm like, I really am not feeling this. I'm not feeling this at all. It's just convenient, you know.
Right.
It's just, proximity. You're
That's
close.
right.
You're the closest person to me.
That's right.
And I've had to realize that all comes down to self-worth. You know you're more valuable. Your intuition tells you that this is not right. You know the red flags are there even before you get into the situation. But it's just about, are you able to sit down and have a true talk with yourself and say, this is not what I want. This is not what I want for my future. This is more reflective of my past and the past decisions that I made regarding who I was.
Yes.
So yes, maybe in high school, I wanted
Yes.
to do these certain things. I wanted to hang out with that. But if the person that I'm dealing with hasn't evolved and they see me evolving and they have that envious nature, then that causes the toxicity. It causes complications because we're not on the same, we're not even not to say the same playing field, but we're not going in the same direction. That's okay. That's okay. You know, people grow and outgrow each other, but I feel like a lot of times, you know, as students, as women, as men, we settle. We try to settle for convenience, and that's something that I'm continuing to deal with. Having to set boundaries for myself if we keep discussing.
That's right.
This isn't right. Whether that's family, that can include family as well, not just people that are strangers that become friends.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you have to set boundaries for family as well. And I think the biggest thing is recognize that convenience is not always the right way to go. It's not always the best thing to do.
Wow.
And even as grown adults, there's people who settle in marriages, settle in friendships, you know, I've been in this career for 20 plus years, there's no way for me to get out, or either I'm in this major, I'm stuck here. You don't have to settle. You can continue to evolve and always put that value first. That's what I've been learning to do. Put the value first. Your parents might have taught you something. They've taught you to be good. They want you to be the best that you can. And if you don't have that support system, as she said before, you have a village. You have your principals. You have your gym teacher.
Yes.
You have your professors. You have all these people who are around you, even sometimes strangers. I remember for a while, I was on the bus. My family didn't have transportation, so I would always ride the Cincinnati Metro. I was able to connect with certain Metro bus drivers. They're like, okay, you're going all the way to Mount Healthy, catching 2 lines to get to work every morning. But you meet people who are really of value, and you don't have to, in a sense, have this degree to be of value. You don't have to have a specific education.
No.
As you mentioned before in the question, experience is what really matters. Experience in that relationship, experience in valuing people for who they are is very important to me. So as I said before, convenience is not always a thing. Making sure you are aligned with your values. And if you don't know what your values are, reconsider relationships, reconsider friendships, because you can't give somebody yourself if you can't, you know, focus in on yourself and know who you are. And definitely this pandemic has taught me who I am. It's taught me what I like to do, what I don't like to do, what I was just doing to fit the trend and try to fit in. And that's always going to be a struggle. You always want to, you know, fit into a group, but it's nothing wrong with standing out. Once I was introduced to the Sister Accord, I recognized that that was something that I needed to do. I needed to walk in that power.
Come on now.
My mom saw the evolution as well, and
yes, she did.
She always comes to tears with the story, and she recognized how I was going through these issues where I was with friends. It seemed like she was like, Jada, you can't keep friends. I'm like, I don't know, it's not me. I don't know if it's me or if it's them, but each year it just seemed like I would see something that was like a red flag in my heart. And sometimes you have to address the heart before the mind. It's like your heart is telling you something isn't right. You can just feel the energy. So I definitely appreciate your support, and then also my mom and all the people who have been in my village, whether it's just a random stranger who decided to give encouragement. So yeah, that's definitely.
Don't make me cry these eyelashes off.
Definitely.
I am about to cry these eyelashes all the way off, Jada.
Yes.
Every time I look at you, and I remember the little girl that I met, and I see the woman, yeah, you are incredible.
Thank you.
And I'm honored to know you. It's a journey, but I'm honored that I've been on this journey with you.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh. Melanie, as someone who spends a lot of time teaching classes on the effects of bullying and safe dating for the YWCA, what are some of the highlights of what you are sharing with students in your training?
Well, thank you for having me.
It's an honor.
You know, when I'm going to my classrooms, the first 3 things that I say to my students is, first you have to realize that you're a whole person. And the person that comes into your life should complement you, not complete you.
Okay.
Because if you're looking for somebody to complete you, you're going to be disappointed every time.
Over and over again.
The second thing I say is you have to know yourself well enough to be able to pull back and assess your situation. And the third thing is that the moment that you start wondering, do you deserve better? You do.
Whoa.
Right at that moment.
Wait a minute now.
I know. The moment that you start wondering, do I deserve better? You do. And because we know that love is not abuse, love is respect. So I have the pleasure of going into my 3 high schools, and I teach a safe date class, as you told in my bio. I teach teens against bullying in my high schools, and I also have a coaching boys and men's program, I was so glad to hear what you're doing. And in that class, in my coaching boys and men, I actually get an opportunity to talk with athletes on the basketball team, football team, and their profile is really high, they're popular, and we talk about locker room talk, we talk about when aggression crosses the line, we talk about digital respect, and we talk about music, because music is steering how they see us.
That's right.
And so I love that class because we're diving into changing their mindset of how they see women.
That's
and
right.
how they're going to treat us.
That's right.
My safe day class, we talk about red flags and green flags. Again, power and control. Boy, did we go down the rabbit hole with R. Kelly, Lord have mercy. We dissected him.
Wow.
We talked about sexual assault, sexual harassment, and what is consent.
Yes.
Because you cannot get consent from someone who is substantially impaired.
That's right.
You cannot. And so I say to young folks, don't try to make this big decision about being intimate with one another when you're impaired. Everybody wants to boo up and go get Netflix and don't want to go skating, don't want to do anything normal, but then you're making a big decision about that. And you have to know yourself well enough.
That's right.
To put some boundaries up. Figure out what they are. Go get a piece of chalk and draw it across the line and figure out what it is.
That's right.
Because I am a survivor of domestic violence. So when I got this position, I said, look at God.
Wow.
Now this is crazy.
Wow.
So I've learned and grown like astronomical in these 4 years that I've had this position. Wow. So what I want to leave with you, I want to actually leave my own Miranda rights.
Yes.
And I brought my little cheat sheet so I wouldn't miss any of them.
Yes.
So every woman and every girl that's at this tea party right now, I want you to hear this, and then I want you to write your own. You have the right to love yourself. You have the right to be self-aware. You have the right to change your mind. You have the right to ask questions. You have the right to be in a safe relationship. You have the right to speak up for yourself. Yes. You have the right not to remain silent when you know something is wrong. You have the right to have deal breakers. You have the right to go at your own pace in your relationship. You have the right to be a boss. Let me just say that. You have the right to be a boss. You have the right to recognize that every relationship is not for you. You have the right to say no and not feel guilty about it. You have the right to keep your promises to yourself. You have the right to spend time with yourself and by yourself. You have the right to have good and caring friends in your life. You have the right to ask for help. You have the right to have goals and plans for your future. You have the right to give consent and be in your right mind when you give consent. And the last one is that you have the right to put yourself first and be beautiful at it, young ladies. So I just enjoy what I do for a living on a daily basis. And I get hyped about it. I come home and tell my niece, like, oh, you would not believe what we talked about today in class, you know. And it's just amazing what they believe. Yeah. And I'm glad that I'm able to break down some of those barriers and talk about the truth, and especially in my boys and men's program, because there are NFL players and basketball players that are messing up. So the moment that I bring up a subject and they say, oh, Miss Melanie, I don't know, I'll be like, oh, let's just bring it up on the YouTube.
That's right.
And I'll bring it up, and the story is right there.
That's right.
And so I can prove it.
Yes.
That if you're not responsible for yourself,
that's right,
other things are going to start happening around you. And I also ask the question, whose fault is it when you get your heart broke? It's yours. Because we do ignore all those signs that you just said. We ignore them. Oh, they can't be like that. That's especially when you choose somebody. You don't want to be like, dang, did I choose a fool? Now, I'm going to have to hold on to this fool and hide him and dress him up and put him on some makeup. But you know you got a fool sitting right next to you. And so you have to let those things go and trust yourself enough. Yes. And know that you are enough.
That's right.
That you are enough.
That's right.
And the song that you came out on today is like my favorite. Yes. You know, Mary J. Blige worked that. Everybody should listen to that because she talks about being a boss.
Wow.
So those are the things that I kind of wanted to say and leave on the
Powerful.
panel, because you guys said so much. You know, it's like kind of condensed what I wanted to say, because I could say so many other things. But I enjoy what I do. I enjoy every young person that I come across, and I don't meet a stranger. I don't meet a stranger. And I can approach any young person in any midst. I'm never afraid to approach them. Never afraid. And I want older people to understand, don't be afraid of them.
That's right.
They really want the direction.
That's right.
They're acting out for a reason. They're praying to God, if somebody sees me frailing, doing all this, please somebody see me and hold me.
And help me.
Hug me, love me. They want that.
That's right, sister.
So anytime that I
Wow.
can reach out to somebody, I'm gonna do it.
Wow, you are so incredible. Oh, we're so thankful for your service, because it is needed. Each and every one of you, as I said, you're so special to me. And I love you all, and I'm so honored that you were here. Now the world will get to see how amazing you all are. We are so very thankful. We are the change that we want to see.